Ladies and gentlemen, we have some bad news for the New Orleans Saints and quarterback Derek Carr. We're going to break down what happened with Carr's injury, why there are many people out there who say it does not look good, but at the same time, we do have some updates that may signal that things just might not be that bad with Derek Carr. And the Saints were up 0-17 at one point in this game. How did things fall apart? How did a defense that was balling out suddenly allow Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers to come back? What happened in this game for the Saints against the Green Bay Packers? We're going to break this down. Make sure to like and subscribe for more NFL content. We know first and foremost the Saints were absolutely dominating Jordan Love on the defensive side of the football. The Packers could not get anything going at all. Jordan Love appeared frustrated. He was having to look back to the tablet, back to the iPad to try to find some solution. He could not figure it out. And Jordan Love had nobody to blame but himself. Yes, the Packers weren't unstoppable on offense, missing some key pieces like Watson and Aaron Jones, but Jordan Love kept on missing some receivers who were open. And the Saints quarterbacks were absolutely balling out even though they were without Paulson Adebo. Alontae Taylor had himself a game. There were multiple plays where it could have been a completion, but Alontae Taylor just completely broke it up. And this guy, along with Isaac Yiadom, were showing that, hey, we could hang in even though the Saints have some injuries at the cornerback position. Jordan Love had thrown for 6 touchdowns and 0 interceptions entering this game, but he gave up his first pick against the Saints. You had Johnson make that play, a horrible throw by Jordan Love. And Derek Carr and the offense was getting going in the first half. That was the big thing for the Saints going into this game. Can they get started early? And you had Carr connecting on a pass to none other than Jimmy Graham. Jimmy Graham getting his first touchdown reception of the season. And this is a guy who was pretty much retired last year. He was out there flying airplanes. Apparently he's a pilot on his spare time. And it's just so crazy to see the 37-year-old come back, be able to make some key contributions to the Saints. And he's a former Packer as well, so Lambeau was giving him some love as he did score a touchdown against the Green Bay Packers. And not only did you have the Saints offense making plays in the first half of this game, but you had the speedster Rashid Shaheed get some points of his own on special teams. Derek Carr and the offense did not even have to take the field. Shaheed had an amazing punt return for a touchdown, smoked the entire Packers special teams. Rich Bisaccia, the special teams coach of the Packers, was not too happy about that. And so everything was going great. 17-0. Carr was on the football field with the Saints, about to try to score more points against the Green Bay Packers. And look, man, the offensive line has been a problem for the Saints for the past few weeks. Carr was sacked 4 times in week 2 against the Panthers, sacked 4 times as well in week 1 against the Tennessee Titans. And in this game, Derek Carr was sacked 3 times, and on his 3rd sack is when everything hit the fan. Derek Carr was on the field for quite some time, seemed like he was in pain. Fortunately, we were able to see Derek Carr walk under his own power, walk to the sideline. He went to the tent. You saw him walking to the locker room after this play, but able to walk himself. You know, he's walking a little weird, seemed a little careful with his arm when he was walking, and it turned out Derek Carr suffered a shoulder injury on that sack, and he got slammed to the ground on that sack, and that's why you had that big impact against his shoulder there, and that's why he was in some pain after that. And here's what's so bad about this is the fact that Derek Carr was originally ruled questionable, then they did some x-rays and then said he was out for the entire game, and then Jameis Winston had to come in. We'll talk more about Derek Carr's injury and reports that have come out after the football game. And so once Derek Carr was ruled out, we knew it was going to be the Jameis Winston show. We knew the Green Bay Packers would have an opportunity to come back in this game. Consider the fact that this is the first home game for the Green Bay Packers. It was at Lambeau Field. And sure enough, how do you help out a Jordan Love who'd been struggling all day against the secondary? Well, he was able to get a touchdown of his own and run it in, but there was a key drive where Jordan Love was helped out by 2 back-to-back pass interference penalties. And on the first pass interference penalty was called on Alontae Taylor. Yeah, you can maybe say there was a little grab, but there was nothing really happening there. The ball was underthrown. It was going to be incomplete anyway, and they called a PI flag on Alontae Taylor, who'd been balling out the entire game. And then right after that, typically refs, they don't call back-to-back PI penalties because then it would look a little too blatant, but they didn't mind to help out the Packers at home, and they did call another PI flag, this time on Isaac Yiadom, to help the Packers and Jordan Love get all the way down in scoring position. And this was a key drive that really helped the Packers. And if it wasn't for this, don't think the Packers would have been able to bounce back in this game so easily, because the Saints defense has been unstoppable this year. So the Packers got back in this game. The offense without Derek Carr really struggled. You saw a couple good passes to Michael Thomas, but other than that, they would stall out. They would end up punting with Jameis Winston in at quarterback. There was a time where he underthrew Rashid Shaheed and they were trying to go deep on a critical 3rd and short. I feel like the Saints should have called it more conservative when Jameis Winston was in the game rather than trying to do too much. He's still a backup quarterback. Yes, I know he was there last year, but he's still the number 2 QB, not getting all those first team reps. So the Packers would eventually get the lead. They had that 2-point conversion that really helped him out. Jordan Love was able to connect with some of his wide receivers on the outside, helped out by the 2 flags on that one critical drive. And then it came time for the Saints to make a statement here. Hey, you're losing by 1 point. You got your backup quarterback in. Let's see if we can make enough plays to get into field goal range and close out this game. And the Saints got all the way to the 31-yard line of the Green Bay Packers. I thought the game was over. I thought it was a lock for the Saints. And I felt like the Saints started to overthink this drive. Peter Carmichael, the offensive coordinator, Jameis Winston, the quarterback. They did try to run the football, but then they did a pass attempt on 2nd down, stopped the clock, ended up incomplete. I did not think it was smart. So they pretty much stalled out around the 31-yard line, and unfortunately, Blake Grupe missed the field goal at the end of the game. Yes, it was a 46-yard field goal, kind of long, but we've seen this guy make those field goals before. And unfortunately, he missed the kick, and maybe it wouldn't have mattered what the Saints did on that drive if he was going to end up missing the kick anyways. But the Packers completely lucked out in this game. They're getting their ass absolutely whooped by the Saints in the first half. Derek Carr goes down. The Saints offense does not score again after Carr goes down. And honestly, I think Blake Grupe, the kicker, usually makes that kick, so the Packers just got lucky overall. And Dennis Allen, the head coach of the Saints, was obviously pissed off. His starting quarterback, the guy he went out to get, got injured. We don't know what's going on. Derek Carr actually ended up going to the hospital after the game. He was ruled out after x-rays. Then they decided to go to the hospital, according to Ian Rappaport, to do some more evaluations to look for internal injuries. And breaking news, while recording this video, Ian Rappaport gave an update on Derek Carr, saying that he believes Derek Carr has avoided a more serious injury than originally expected. He could still miss some time, but this does not appear to be a season-ending scenario. So Derek Carr will miss some time, could miss some time, but not a serious injury. That's great to hear. He avoided something serious on the shoulder. Ian Rappaport followed up saying Derek Carr is believed to have suffered an AC sprain, source said, and after a multitude of tests, there was no additional damage. When he plays will be determined by the swelling and how he gains mobility. And there are some people who are saying this could be an up to 6-week injury, or it could be an injury that you come back from in a week or less. But the Saints are facing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers next week, a 10 a.m. game at home. And this was just such a tough, devastating loss for the Saints, not only because of the Derek Carr injury, but because this team was completely clicking in the first half and dominating, and it just all fell apart. And I think what the Saints learned today is how important Derek Carr is for their offense, just to function, just to get something here and there, just to sustain a little more drive sometimes to make sure the defense isn't on the field all the time. And if Derek Carr is out this upcoming game, which seems like a real possibility, we're obviously not going to know anything for certain until Friday. But if Derek Carr misses this upcoming game, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have been good this year. They got to really hope Jameis Winston is ready. And I believe, because I've seen Derek Carr battle through injuries, a lot of people do not understand how many injuries this guy's battled with. I remember in 2017, him playing with a broken back at times for the Raiders. And when you look at his whole career in the regular season, he's only missed about 2 games due to injuries in 9 years. And so I hope and I believe, because he was able to get out and walk under his own power, I think this guy will be back soon. Yeah, you got Nick Underhill saying that he's hearing he might miss some time. Yeah, maybe he'll miss this next game. Maybe he'll miss 2 games. Who knows? But I think the story of the day is 12 sacks on the season for the Saints offensive line so far. 4 sacks a game. Winston had to take 1 of them. Carr took 3 today. That's got to be cleaned up, no matter who's going to be the quarterback next week or the week after. But honestly, man, send your thoughts and prayers for Derek Carr. Hope that he's okay. Hope he's ready to bounce back. I think this guy will be able to bounce back and be able to return a lot sooner than many people realize. Let me know your thoughts and comments on the Saints, the Packers, and Derek Carr below. My name is WiFiWillie. Make sure to subscribe to this channel for more NFL content. Peace out, and I hope you have a good one.